Hi everyone, welcome back to Not Quite Narwhal Day 2. I'm so excited. I'm loving this book. I'm loving learning about oceans and narwhals and unicorns. So let's go ahead and get started because we got some fun stuff to do today. So these are our sea creature vocabulary words. Do you remember what animal this is? It's a crab. Can you go like this? Because remember they have pinchers, crab, and they walk sideways. Sideways, sideways, sideways. All right. What was this animal called? It's what our main character in the story, his family in the ocean were. Narwhals. So remember they live in the water, they swim, and they have tusks or horns on their head. Good job. What about this one? Do you remember what this animal is that lives inside of a shell? It's a clam. And remember, that's what kelp, his bedroom was a clam. Very cool. And what's this last animal? An octopus. How many legs does an octopus have? It has 8 legs. And remember, it floats around in the water like this. So it's an octopus. Awesome. So we have octopus, a clam, a narwhal, and a crab. Now, what we're going to do next is our poem. So today, there are, these letters are highlighted with purple. And the reason they're highlighted is because, remember yesterday I said we were going to learn about alliteration. Alliteration means the beginning sounds are the same in these words. And they all say k, k, k at the beginning. So, kelp, kid, koi, kelp, kid, clam. So let's see. We're going to read the poem, and I want to see if you can figure out other words that start with k. Here we go. Kelp is a kid, not a koi. Kelp the kid was born in a clam, a quiet boy. All right, those were the ones we figured out. Let's see if you can figure them out. You ready? Kelp, kelp looked at the cliff. There's one. And saw a creature. There's another one. The creature, there it is again, looked like kelp, and the kid for sure. Like kelp the kid for sure. Who was this creature? Kelp the kid should ask his teacher. So a lot of those words in our poem start with k, k, k. All right, let's read through it one time normally. Ready? Kelp is a kid, not a koi. Kelp the kid was born in a clam, a quiet boy. Kelp looked at the cliff and saw a creature. The creature looked like kelp, the kid for sure. Who was this creature? Kelp the kid should ask his teacher. So maybe see if you can find other words that you use or things around your house that start with k, k, k. See if you can make an alliteration and make those words all start with the same beginning sound. You ready? All right. Kelp the kid. Now, we are going to go ahead and read our story. But before we read our story, I have our new vocabulary words that we're going to learn. So our first word is cliff, and it's a steep surface of rock. So if we're standing up at the top of the rock, and then here's the cliff, it's a steep surface. So that means it goes down really, really quickly. So when we hear the word steep, or not steep, and we hear the word cliff in the story, we're going to go like this, okay? To show our drop off our cliff. Next is mysterious. Difficult to understand. So when if we're out in the woods and we're being mysterious and we're trying to figure something out, we might be looking at it closer. So pretend you have binoculars or looking all around. So when you hear mysterious in the story, do this. And last but not least, we have shore. And it's land along the water. So when we hear shore in the story, we're going to go like this for the sand, and we're going to do this for the water. So it's like we're at the shore, seashore, or the ocean. So our words are cliff. Remember, we do this. Mysterious. And last but not least, shore. Here we go. You remember? Like this. Good. All right, so we're going to be listening for those. And here we go. Not Quite Narwhal. This is the cover of the book. This is the spine. And this is the back of the book. Right here is the title, Not Quite Narwhal, and the author is Jessie, Sima. All right, here we go. Skipped a couple pages. All right. Kelp was born deep in the ocean. There he is in the clam. He knew early on that he was different from the other narwhals. Remember, that's the animal that we are learning about. His tusk wasn't as long as everyone else's. He had different tastes in food. And he wasn't a very good swimmer. But his friends didn't seem to mind, so Kelp decided he wouldn't either. There he is swimming with his friends. That is until he was swept away by a strong current. I wish I was a better swimmer. Kelp found himself at the surface closer to land than he had ever been before. High up on a cliff, remember a cliff? He spotted a mysterious, sparkling creature. So look, here's the cliff. See, it's a steep drop off. It looks so familiar. It looked like Kelp. It looked like it. Kelp swam towards land as fast as he could, which wasn't very fast at all, hoping that he could catch up with a creature that looked just like him. When he finally reached the shore, do you remember? Reached the shore. Kelp felt a bit anxious. He had never left the ocean. He was nervous about walking for the first time, but the land creature made it look so easy. What animal is that? A crab. So he decides to walk like a crab. Sideways, sideways, sideways. Oh, it wasn't easy. So he decided to jump like a frog. Jump. Ow. Now he tried to walk really slow like a turtle. Eventually, he got the hang of it. Slowly. Oh, look how slow. Everything in the land was so strange and beautiful, but also kind of scary. Kelp began to think he might never find the creature that looked just like him. But as he stumbled out of the forest, do you remember what he finds? Land narwhals! Actually, we're unicorns, and by the looks of it, so are you. See all the unicorns? Kelp had never heard of unicorns before. They taught him all sorts of new things about his tusk. We call them horns. Wow, so look, they're shooting rainbows out of their tusk. They introduced him to unicorn delicacies. So it's a snow cone. And they showed him how to gallop. There was no doubt that Kelp was, in fact, a unicorn. He was having so much fun that he didn't want to leave. But as he remembered all of his friends under the sea, Kelp missed them terribly. He said goodbye to the unicorns and returned to the ocean. He said, "Come back soon." Kelp swam towards home as fast as he could, which wasn't fast at all, hoping the narwhals would still like him now that he was a unicorn. When he finally arrived, Kelp had butterflies in his stomach. "Welcome home!" And this one said, "Kelp!" See, like there's this little speech bubble. Kelp took a deep breath and told his new friends the news. It turns out I'm not a narwhal. Of course you're not. I'm a unicorn. We all knew that. They all took it quite well. See, they already knew he was a unicorn. Kelp was so happy to be home, but now that he had experienced life on land with the unicorns, he couldn't seem to forget them. Did he want to be a land narwhal with the unicorns or a sea unicorn with the narwhals? Kelp couldn't decide, but then he realized that maybe... So remember, this was his problem. He didn't know if he should be a narwhal, a land narwhal with the unicorns, or a sea unicorn with the narwhals. So, what's he going to do? How's he going to solve this problem? Just maybe. There's the narwhals in the ocean, and here are the unicorns on the land. He didn't have to choose. So now they're having a big party in the land and the sea, and they can all hang out. The end. So, we kind of talked about it already. The character in the story is Kelp the unicorn, remember? And our problem was he didn't know if he should live on land with the unicorns or in the sea with the narwhals. So he decided to have them all come together and they live really close to each other so they can play together and hang out still. So I hope you enjoyed day number 2 of Not Quite Narwhal. I had so much fun and I'm excited to show you what we have in store for tomorrow. I'll see you next time. Bye.